So, you can't see me right now, and that's for a very good reason, because I found the file for my Live2D model, so I thought we could do an impromptu debut. Also, sorry that I'm late. I realized I hadn't eaten anything all day, and then I just like chugged a protein shake. So, hopefully everything's good. So, here, let me show. Okay, I need to, here, make OBS smaller so I can actually, I gotta move her up a little bit. Is that good? Okay, that's a little too far up. A little further down. Perfect! Hello, everybody! Hello! My name is Pinky Punchy. You can call me Pinky, and this is my official— oh, there's a truck outside. This is my official VTuber debut. So, well, my official my official Live2D VTuber debut. Yes, I have done a couple of streams with my PNG tuber model, but I've actually had this VTuber model since I got the original file in 2022, and then I got it rigged earlier in August. So I've had this file for a while. I've just never used it, and because I've had it for a while, I don't have the exact contact of the artist. Unfortunately, I did put their email in my Twitch description because that's the only form of contact I have of them, because I bought it off of an Etsy listing that doesn't exist anymore, and blah 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 blah, lots of stuff. And also you can see here, I'm gonna type in the chat just to make sure that it works. I'm gonna say, hello world. Does it work? Join Twitch. Wait, I'm not signed in? What the what the hell? What, sign me in? Why am I signed in on OBS, but I'm not? Okay, I guess, okay. Whatever. Log in. Enter the code for my email. Jesus. I just wanted to do a demo. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. Jesus. Okay. Yes, I did log into my Twitch account. Thank you, Gmail. That is so insightful of you. Okay. Okay, let's just test to see and make sure that this works. It should show up. Yes! You can see the chat on screen! Okay! Okay. And also, tell me if, tell me if, oh, Jesus, I am like losing my mind. I'm also, full disclosure, a little bit stoned right now. I put the stoner friendly tag, and I might take some hits on stream, but if my brain— I also have ADHD, so like that also has elements to it. But anyways, hello everybody. My name is Pinky Punchy. I already said that. But yeah, I also I can show off the different I have different hotkeys. I can be sad. Be sad. Oh, I'm so sad. so sad. And then I can be, what's this one again? Oh, I can be sweaty. I can be mischievous. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this one. But what else? Oh yeah, starry eyes. So yeah, I am super excited. Ooh, boost their notification. Anyways, hello. Yes, I should probably get started on the gameplay soon. But yeah, I just wanted to show off the model first, and I'm very excited to use it. I'm so excited that they're like actually like moving around and everything. Okay, anyways. Okay, so let me open up let me open up the game on life. Beginning always. Open that bad boy up. Oh yeah, and I didn't even mention I have a Ko-fi now. That I have a link to at the bottom, and I also made little thingies for all my other social medias. So if you want to see any of my other social medias, then you can see those there. And please follow me on them. I have there's Blue Sky and TikTok and YouTube. And yeah, and then I have a Ko-fi, and I also have a tip jar on my channel if you don't have a Ko-fi. And also, like, no pressure to donate or anything, please. But, you know, if you want to support me, I am technically unemployed, so it would help a lot. I do have support from my parents, but, you know, I don't want to have to rely on them forever. Too much information. Anyways, please actually pause this time. I'm gonna pause. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then go to gameplay. And see, oh yeah, that's the other thing. I have those transitions that are super cool. And I'm super excited for. So yeah, let's see. Game capture specific window, our life. Okay. Show up. Yeah, why is it so, okay. Let's continue. Why is it not? Okay, wait, there we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Big. Okay. And then, oh, I can actually have this in a window, and I can, oh, that's gonna be, okay, here, really. So I can keep an eye on chat without having to look at my phone. That's really perfect. Ah, no, I don't want that to get, okay, wait. That's, this is, technical difficulties as I figure out, okay, then let me make it big here again, and there. Okay, let's do this. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you'd stayed put. Today, just like your moms had promised, Cove is coming over to hang out. Ooh! Oh yeah, also I should say, in the last, in the stream where I started this, We are a child currently, but we're gonna grow up over the course of the game. And we live on a beach town, and we just met a new boy whose name is Cove, and he doesn't want to live here. And his dad is like a surfer bro, which is why he got named Cove. And excuse me. And he ran away, and we helped him. Also, I hope you can hear the music. Let me check that game capture. Yeah, it is. No, I don't want to go full screen. No. Okay. Then let me do this so I can keep it. Okay. 12 is coming over to hang out. It's my hot moms. Excited to see your new. Excited to see your new friend again, Pinky? I guess.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Wait, that's still the same. With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Oh, what achievement did I get? Yeah. Haha, I don't know. Am I? Your bowl was entirely empty, so you nodded. What should I pick? Yeah, it's more straightforward. Haha, dunno, I don't know, am I? That would be what I would probably have done as a kid. Because my dad made so many jokes like that. You gestured down to the empty dish in front of you, raising your eyebrows dramatically. Okay, we see. Good job. He should be here soon. Cleanup began, and then, on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure that they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Pinky, could you get it? Because Mom said so, you wandered over to the door. Yeah. Hey, Punchy family! Thanks for having us! Mr. Holden, as your moms have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your living room, and when he wasn't crying. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, he was crying when we met him. With his dad standing in front of him and Mom and Mommy hid behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. You studied Cove apathetically. This was the parents' plan, not yours. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is that we chose how we feel, and we decided to be apathetic at this stage, so we'll see what happens. Not seeming any more excited than you were, he just stared back. Do you want to go play in your room, Pinky? Sure. So, my room is this way. Okay.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids!
See you.
See you later, son. Play nice. You led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There were a lot of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out. Yeah, this place rules. Oh shit, it's got sloped ceilings. Oh my god, this was literally what my bed, not like exactly, but like, I lived in a room, my childhood bedroom was a room like this, where it was, like the sloped ceiling bit, because it was converted from the attic, and it fucking sucked. It fucking sucked, because you can't hang posters. I mean, you can, like, it's not like you can't, but you're just asking for them to fall down in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. and scare the shit out of you. Anyways, there were a lot of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. That's an oddly real artist thing of like, oh, you like that one? Oh, that one? Okay. If you like it, like, I feel like that always happens with the works that like you really don't give a shit about. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. I drew that. Cool. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. Excuse me. He turned to look at the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. You started to feel a bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your room. You started to feel a bit nervous. You wanted to say something, but didn't know what, so you let him keep looking. Then his eyes landed on a tiny box of beach things you'd collected, tucked away by your door. He took a step forward before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. Yeah. You gestured to a piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand. Neat. This is a good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice or to be like Shiloh. He actually meant it. Who's Shiloh? Who the fuck is Shiloh? Are we gonna learn that, or is that just like a weird thing? Ah, Shiloh is coming over. Oh shit. Okay, we're gonna meet Shiloh. Shiloh? My sister's friend. He wants to meet you. Do I have to see him? It'll be okay, I think. Here, I found this shell in a log, and you pulled out seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one and holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink and purple and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you even learned some of their scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for all of them. Your voice faltered a little bit, but you kept going as best as you could. Excuse me again. What do I want? I'm gonna try and make the window a little bit smaller so that I can see my actual, obvious screen. Ah, what the hell? Stop it. Okay, a little bit smaller. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's perfect. Then I gotta make it big on here again. There we go. Should I make my avatar bigger? I feel like I should. Here, let me try and make it a bit bigger. There we go. Okay. Back to the game. Back to the game. For the past few years, you'd even learned their science. Your voice faltered a little bit, but you kept going as best you can. You were really proud of your shell collection, and it made you happy that Cove was interested in it too. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened to what looked like with what looked like the full force of his attention. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus, even if it was only directed at the shells. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell that the idea was making him unhappy, but Mommy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove that his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. Oh, that's gonna be a plot point. That's gonna be a fucking plot point, because I took that money. Oh yeah, that was the other thing, is that his dad approached us. Sorry. His dad approached us and was like, hey, can you make friends with my kid? I'll give you $20. And we took the money, so, like, I feel like that's definitely going to become a plot point later when, like, years down the line we have a crush on him and he's like, wait, this whole thing was a sham? How could you? Okay. Telling Cove that his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. Before you knew it, you'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Great. Okay, but be careful. You should have asked. I mean, you probably should have, but, like, I don't want to be rude. Okay, but be careful. I will. You weren't sure if you could trust someone else with your treasures yet, so you stayed next to him while he opened the lid and peered inside. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one is the best of them. That's my favorite, too. I like a different one best. I can show it to you. You can take it. Sorry, gotta adjust my seating position. You can take it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure, you like it a lot, right? Uh-huh, but I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. You insisted, you let it go. I mean, we do not know him very well, so maybe we should let it go. You let it go. Okay. You didn't want to pressure Cove too much. It was supposed to make him happy, not nervous. Plus, Cove was your neighbor now. Maybe you could give it to him another time. Ooh, future plot point. The two of you were sitting on the floor, looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. I'm sorry, there's nowhere to go. He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and he finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Cove, no! Cove, no! Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. Your other arm, Jesus! Jesus Christ! Oh my God! I don't think we're on that kind of a level. Oh jeez, no wonder that's the blunt option. Jesus! Oh my God! Okay, do you want to break your other arm? Shiloh is the least scary person alive. Cheer up, Shiloh's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea, let's go. Ooh. I wanna save. Because I'm gonna save because there are too many choices. for me to not save. Want to break your other arm? Shiloh's the least scary person alive. Cheer up, Shiloh's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea. Let's go. You know what? I'll come with you. Hurry! They'll see where we're going! Hurry! They'll see where we're going! Sorry. He glanced back at you, then nodded. The two of you made your way to the window together. It wasn't much of a distance to clamber out, but by the time you landed... Oh, excuse me. Probably from chugging a fucking protein shake, I would imagine. Okay, Okay. Wait. It's coming. Ah. Okay, I think I finally fucking burped. Excuse me. It wasn't much of a distance to clamber out, but by the time you landed gently in the bushes, you looked up to see that Cove was already taking off away from the house. He was fast, but you knew you could outrun him if you had to. He's not that fast. He was not that fast. You knew you could outrun him if you had to. He was not that fast, but neither were you. At that speed, you weren't sure if you could go fast enough to reach him. My character's not going to be fast because I am not fast in real life. So, the only question is Cove fast? I don't know. Is Cove fast? Is he fast? He was fast, but you knew you could outrun it. You know what? He was not that fast, but neither were you. Cove, I'm coming! You ran as fast as your legs would take you, grass whipping around your ankles as you did so. Oh, there's probably so many fucking bugs. Cautiously, Cove slowed to a halt and looked back at you. Where are you going? I don't know. Somewhere else. I just don't want to see. Pinky! I don't know what Shiloh looks like. I don't know what voice. I'm assuming it's a guy. Or, no, it's my sister's friend, so it could be a girl. It could be... I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. You looked back and saw Shiloh huffing down the hill after you. The backpack he clutched... I was right! Motherfuckers! Okay, the backpack he clutched, bouncing all along the way. What are you doing? Can I come? He must have seen you leaving out the window and followed behind. Oh, wait, Shiloh is younger than us. Okay. Is our sister younger than us? Okay, this is a new perspective. I'm a youngest sibling. I'll have to get into character. Oh, hi. Are you Cove?
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm Shiloh. Okay.
Yep. Are we going back? Or are we gonna play outside?
Shiloh's eyes moved between you and Cove. The smile remained strong on his face. Whoa. New save? It got a tiny frown from Cove in response. You were just grateful he hadn't asked why you had been running away. Inside, we left the box on the floor. Yeah, I want to check. I hope Mommy didn't move them.
Okay.
I don't think I need to save. With Shiloh trailing behind... Let me clear my throat. Excuse me. Okay. With Shiloh trailing behind you, you and Cove headed back towards the house. The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach things some more. Sounds like a pretty good plan. You weren't really in the mood for trying to do much of anything else. Okay, you're right. I gotta move to my lap. Oh! Okay, you weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else. You held out a recent find to Cove, a scallop shell that had washed up on the shore. It's a pretty color, kind of like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm.
Pink is a nice color.
Okay. Be nice to Shiloh. He's not doing anything to you.
Is it your favorite?
Not really.
What is?
Maybe green or blue? It might be yellow. It might be yellow. Oh, green like your hair? How fucking convenient.
Oh, those are all cool.
I guess. I like those colors too. There are better colors. Not sure how to deal with the suddenly more awkward silence. You looked back at your shells. I like those colors too.
Awesome!
Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Same. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. And Cove wasn't like your sister. Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either.
Is Lizzie coming back?
Don't know.
Aww.
Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach, probably.
Is she playing at her park?
Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park, and then he looked towards you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement.
Really? You do too, Pinky? The park is fun.
I love it. The park is pretty great. No! It's so funny to just go, wow, you like the park too? No, I don't. I don't know why the fuck I brought it up, actually. I fucking hate the park. Well, the park is pretty great.
Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun stuff to do, and lots of sand.
There's a jungle gym and a bunch of swings.
That sounds like it could be cool.
I don't need to say it. Why do you keep on asking me to say it?
So, are we gonna go find Lizzie?
I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check the park out. Adrift without any direction, Shiloh finally turned to you. I just realized who he reminds me of. God damn it. He reminds me of that the kid, the fucking kid from the My Hero Academia movie, but also Deku in that movie from the outfit, because Deku wears an outfit like that in that movie. It's the one where they go to, I don't remember what the fuck it's called. It's the one where they go to the island and the League shows up and I don't fucking remember, but that's what he reminds me of. It was bothering me this entire time. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your moms that it was so short she should always be allowed to walk there by herself. So is Lizzie older than us? Or younger? Because Shiloh is younger. He seems younger than us. But if Lizzie's allowed to go to the park but we still need permission, that makes the implication that Lizzie's older, so... Unsure. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie! Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Pinky! Shiloh!
Hi!
She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shiloh had abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was here. I feel like I need to burp, but it's not burping. You weren't sure if this was an improvement. Okay, jeez. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?
It's Cove. He's new.
Okay, so I think Lizzie might be old. Why is she friends with Shiloh? I mean, I guess maybe Shiloh just lives around here.
I remember. Hi, Cove. I remember.
Look, what voice should I give Lizzie?
I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park, and nobody ever comes here, so this is where we get together.
She gestured widely with her arms to present the area to the newcomer. Without interrupting Lizzie's speech, Cove whispered in your ear, quiet enough that others wouldn't overhear. I thought like kids couldn't own places like parks or hills. You couldn't help but laugh a tiny bit. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wriggle your toes through the warm sand.
Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas.
You are?
Yeah.
Who else could handle the job?
Lizzie is the oldest.
Okay, so that answers my question. She's the oldest. Makes sense. Okay, good. We're a younger sibling.
By a lot. My mom said you're Pinky's age.
Yeah.
I thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits.
Okay, so she's at least 10. I love that I love this deduction that I'm doing of stuff that I'll probably figure out later, but... What about other kids?
Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh is just visiting from another place.
Oh, okay.
Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients.
Oh, jeez.
Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth.
Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. But something in his eyes shifted as he looked back to Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like moms and dads or grandparents?
Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids.
Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids? Stop saying stuff like that, you're gonna upset him. Yeah, they're really bad. Okay. Stop saying stuff like that, you're gonna upset him. You interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't start crying again. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation.
I met Lizzie and Pinky in school. You'll see a ton of kids there once the summer's over.
I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Shiloh looked down to the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversations with Cove. Well, Shiloh, in your defense, none of us have had much luck striking up conversations with Cove. So, you're not unique, at least. You're not unique, at least. That's not how I wanted to phrase that. That's not... No.
I like summer vacation a lot, too.
All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort, how weird she thought. Cove was at something else Cove was at something else entirely. You didn't really know. But she laughed, her face scrunching up. I don't understand what that sentence means. What? At Shiloh's discomfort at how weird she thought. Oh. Wait. What the fuck?
Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. Ugh. Ugh is right. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Shiloh, and on some days, when she was in a bad mood or busy, you saw him even more often than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life, the way the sun and the lunch and beach were. The way sun and lunch and the beach were. That first summer, you hadn't really been interested in him one way or another. He was just kind of a fact of life, someone you met with because he was there. Of course, that was only the start of things. Okay, moment select. Ooh, and then the summer ended. Ooh, what? What's this? Okay. Shopping, grown up, long day, sandcastle, fireflies. I like fireflies. I want to do fireflies. Alright! Tonight we're gonna catch fireflies! At this blunt declaration from your sister, you looked up from your macaroni and cheese dinner. Fireflies were a familiar sight over summer, coming out on warm nights to dance through the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy, so you knew that there were bound to be a ton of them around. Oh, you are you? Yeah, you started eating faster. You looked over at your mom's. You pushed your food around your plate. You started eating faster. A grin curved your lips as you started to eat a little bit faster, excited for what was to come. It seemed like you were too excited, however, and you started to choke and cough on your food from shoveling it down so quickly. Jeez! Mommy reached out to pat you on the back, firmly, helping to dislodge the noodles and enable you to breathe again. You took a bigger gulp of water from your glass, giving your mom a sheepish look. Oops. That's a good idea, Lizzie. Can we, Mrs. Punchy? Shiloh tapped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. Does Shiloh have parents? Where are his parents? Why is he eating dinner with us? It was unusual for Shiloh to still be here. Oh, Jesus. Okay. As soon as I make a statement, the game's like, oh, you made a statement? Let us explain. Like always, his mom had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. Oh, okay, so that makes sense. But normally she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner to let your mother know that she'd be late. You didn't hear why. Probably more work things. You thought maybe getting to hang out with Shiloh for longer is what made Lizzie want to keep running around outside. Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over, so that's why you were pretty sure that she'd get your moms to agree. Well, it's already so dark out there. Lizzie gave Mom the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited for their response. Oh, thank you for the follow, Ember's Tail. I really appreciate it. Let them go. Nights like this don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look, then Mom eventually sighed and nodded back. Hello! Hello! How are you doing? How was, I don't know what time it is for you, but for me it's evening, so how was your day been going? Your parents exchanged a look, then Mom eventually sighed and nodded back. Yes! Along with Lizzie's cheers, you threw up your arms in triumph, but waited until you'd finished chewing to say anything, because you knew it was rude to talk with your mouth full. Your day's great? That's great. I'm glad to hear your day's been good. Fine. Just make sure you stay on the hill behind our house with all the poppies, okay? Duh, Mom. That's where most of them are. The idea had only just been planted in your head, but already you could just picture all the glowing lights spread out in front of you like fairies from the bedtime stories. Well, The idea had only just been planted in your head, but already you could just picture all the glowing lights spread out in front of you, like the fairies from the bedtime stories Mommy read sometimes. All too quickly, it became a race to see who could finish their food first. No choking at the dinner table now. That's right, if someone died, we'd have to cancel the Firefly trip after all. Man, my hot moms are so funny. I can't get over how pretty my moms are. I'm sorry, I will never get over it. Oh, I just did it, and so now I have to make it smaller to fit again. Whoops. There we go. Back to the game. Back to the game. Mom said it like a joke, but you knew that they were both telling you kids to slow down. Shiloh did immediately. When you glanced at Lizzie, you saw her still eating faster than she should. Yeah, we are playing Our Life Beginning and Always, which is an indie visual novel on Steam, where you get to grow up with a childhood friend and then fall in love with him. So we are currently a child, but we will grow up as the game progresses. When you glanced at Lizzie, you saw her still eating faster than she should. Elizabeth!
Jeez.
No one's gonna die, sheesh! A knock on the door interrupted Mom before she could no doubt scold your sister. I'll get it! Whoa! A raid! Oh my gosh, thank you so much! Thank you so much for the raid, Friendly Ghost Val. Hello, my name is Pinky Punchy. You can call me Pinky. I'm half goblin, half elf, all pink. This is my Live2D model debut stream. I'm so excited to have people. I just started streaming a few days ago. I'm sorry if I'm not the best, but yeah, we are currently playing Our Life Beginning and Always. And it is a visual novel where you get to grow up with a childhood friend. Here, let's continue. Huh? And this is also just an excuse for me to practice my voice acting, because that's also something that I want to do and like to practice. You shifted in your seat to try and get a glimpse of the unexpected guest.
Hi.
The game is lagging? Oh, how bad is it lagging? Oh, shit. Okay, sorry. Good evening, Cove. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you I started a few days ago. Yeah, I started streaming, not yesterday, but the day before. And I'm trying to stream every day at around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you like what you see, give me a follow. And I won't be streaming tomorrow, but I will definitely be streaming on Saturday. So if you like what you see, give me a follow, and I'll do more streams. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Shiloh's flappy hat. Why is Cove here? Is something wrong? He didn't give you any clear acknowledgement, his eyes firmly fixed on the ground in front of him. Internet glitch, what were you saying? I was saying, I stream every day. I just started a few days ago, but I'm trying to stream every day at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I won't be streaming tomorrow because I have plans, but I will definitely be streaming on Saturday. So if if you like what you see, make sure to give me a follow, and I will be doing more streams. You shrugged, going back to shoveling a forkful of macaroni in your mouth. Then, for a few seconds, Cove said nothing. He only stood there and looked up at your mommy with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. My dad told me to drop this off because he borrowed it from you. Cove took a familiar screwdriver from out of his large side pocket, eyes now dropped to the floor. We left ours back home when we moved. So what happened to your... How'd your parents break up, man? Because I feel like that's going to be important.
Great, thanks. Bye.
Lizzie, you can't do that. Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie crossed her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged, and Mom stood from the table too. I'll give your dad a call to let him know you got here all right. Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mommy closed the door behind him.
Hi, Cove.
Shiloh gave Cove a friendly smile while waving by holding up his hand and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. Cove, are you going to catch fireflies with us? You could come outside with us if you want to. You weren't sure what to say now. You could come outside with us if you want to. From the corner of your eye, you could see Lizzie glaring at you for mentioning the excursion to an outsider. Trying not to meet her gaze, you looked at Cove. Whatever Lizzie thought of him, he wasn't exactly a stranger anymore. We're going to catch fireflies on the hill out back.
Okay.
I want to see them. I've never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before now. The fireflies weren't out like when he first moved in, and there must not have been any where he used to live.
We can't go until after dinner.
Excuse me. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. Since this was very true, you decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Cove stepped closer and eyed what was on the menu for your family's meal. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier.
What did you have?
Eggs. The clipped, one-word answer seemed to discourage Shiloh from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of his food on his plate. Her phone call with Cove's dad must have ended, because your mom came back into the room.
Okay.
Cove, your dad said you could stay for a little while if you like, but he's going to come get you before it gets too much later. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun! This will be so nice. As you polished off the meal, you hoped it would be too. The three of you all finished eating shortly after, and Lizzie led the way outside. Remember, don't stray too far!
It's fine, Mom.
Shiloh trailed so closely after Lizzie he was nearly stepping on her heels. Cove hesitated at the door. You smiled lightly at Cove, gesturing for him to follow. After a moment, he did.
Bye.
Bye, children. Oh, my moms are so hot. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Shiloh by the time you walked outside. You pushed the door shut behind you, watching their figures go farther and farther away.
Hurry up! You're so slow, Pinky. We don't have all night.
You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when you saw Cove still walking at a relaxed pace. Are you not going to come? You tugged him along. You walked with him. You waved at him to hurry. You ran off. You tugged him along. You didn't want to get left behind or in trouble for losing him. You gave his arm a pull, but immediately recoiled when he hissed. Oh, okay. In your hurry, you'd accidentally grabbed his cast arm. Oh. You hadn't thought about that. Sorry. It's fine. Just go by yourself. You couldn't help but feel bad as he rubbed his arm and refused to look at you. Oh no. But since he didn't seem like he wanted you there, you did what he said and hurried to the hill. Oh, I think we fucked it. I think we fucked it up. Oh no, I think we fucked it up. There were already a lot of fireflies out, glowing, bobbing around like buoys on a wave. Lizzie was standing at the on top. Shiloh was spinning around in circles somewhere around the middle.
Where's Cove?
You looked behind you, wondering if you'd upset him enough to send him home. But a second later, he rounded the corner, looking around at all the fireflies with interest. Wow. Shiloh took a moment to come over and welcome the both of you to the hill.
Hi guys, it's really great out, huh? See how many there are?
Yeah. A firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's sea green head. Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You and Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You quietly looked on. You shooed the bug away. You and Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. Covering your mouth with a hand, the sound escaped you, and Cove looked at you in confusion. What? You gestured to his head, and he reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cove jumped, then followed in after the glow.
Oh look, Lizzie has one! That's amazing!
Shiloh ran to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze to the dozens of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. You had a bandage on your thumb and you tried to be cautious of that. You had a bandage on your palm and you tried to be cautious of that. You had 2 bandages on your hand and you tried to be cautious of that. You were good at not getting cuts or scratches, so you weren't too worried about that. We're a clumsy kid. You had 2 bandages on your hand. Spotting one close by, you approached with assassin-like stealth, crouching down to make yourself seem like less of a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept up towards it, arms outstretched. You closed your hands around the little glowing orb, careful not to crush it. The firefly landed on your palm, almost docile, and you stared down at your prize in the light. Its tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the sensation. Cove kept up with his own target, but when he tried to grab it, his pink cast waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Cove watched it vanish into thin air, a dissatisfied expression on his face. You encouraged him to try again. You told him about the firefly you had. You made a joke about what happened. You did your own things. You encouraged him to try again. You walked up beside him and gave him an encouraging smile. Cove didn't say anything, and you thought he might be upset. He walked further up the hill to continue his hunt, and you let your own firefly flutter back into the air. That was fine. You had your own plans. You decided to sit in the grass and watch. You decided to collect more. Sit in the grass and watch. You quietly took a seat among the flowers. The others were jumping and dashing all about. You saw how many times they succeeded and failed, how Shiloh almost tripped a couple times. It was a dramatic show. Though around you it was calm, the lights of the star and fireflies surrounded you peacefully. It was a beautiful night. You laughed quietly to yourself as you watched the others, and Shiloh finally managed to catch a firefly between his small hands. His eyes lit up, and when he spread his fingers to take a peek at it, the bug escaped and flew off into the air.
Oh!
You watched as he pounced after it once more, but your eyes soon landed on Cove, who had failed to catch a firefly yet. You cheered him on, you scared him. You wait to see what happened. You waited to see what happened. You waited to see what happened. You watched as he crept up on an unsuspecting bug, so slowly that for a moment you wondered if he was still moving at all. Then he raised his hand towards one of the little bobbing balls of light, closing in on it ever so slowly. No! The crafty little critter had escaped his clutches at the last moment, drifting too high for Cove to reach. While Cove had returned to hunting fireflies, you settled for laying back against the soft grass, watching the poppies swaying around you and the fireflies hovering against the sky.
Come on!
Pinky, Cove, get up here, we're gonna have a race! The shouting caught you off guard. It had been quite a while since you had heard from Lizzie or Shiloh. You glanced over to see both of them standing on top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning you with quick hand gestures. If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up the incline you went. From the corner of your eye you saw Cove was coming up as well. He didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might just be intrigued just by the idea of the race.
Hi!
Hi, Cove. You can't roll down the hill. You could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us. As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was that kind of race. He frowned down at his cast. That was the second time he got in the way tonight. Oh, buddy. What? Yeah, you'll watch and see who gets to the bottom first. That's important. Got it? I guess. The cast was sturdy, and if he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else the referee, but it was already decided. You got into position for the race? I'll stay with Cove. I'm gonna do something else. Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting. Ugh, now I'm getting hot again. Spring is just a constant battle of I'm hot, I gotta put on I'm cold, I gotta put on my flannel. I'm hot, the flannel's gotta come off. I'm just constantly putting on my flannel and taking it off. You got into position for a race. I'll stay with Cove. Stay with Cove. I'll stay with Cove. Really? Why? You don't have to. It's okay. I want to watch. You moved beside him on the top of the hill, even though Lizzie eyed you and made a face. That's not how races work. We only need one referee. Shrugging your shoulders, you refused to budge, and Lizzie let out a huff before throwing her hands into the air. Fine. I'll be the winner whether you join or not. Lizzie moved to lay down, and Shiloh did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point, and you stood next to him. Count down! Cove stood up a little straighter. It seemed like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously. Oh, he's got his determined face on.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. There it is. Excuse me. I'm so sorry about that. 3, 2, 1, go! Lizzie and Shiloh took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at high speed towards the bottom of the hill. You and Cove leaned forward to watch them go, eyes peeled for which of the two would reach the bottom first. Oh, we got some racing music. They were both neck and neck, and about halfway down the hill, Lizzie started to veer off to the side, giving Shiloh a huge advantage. Oh, is Shiloh gonna win? She obviously hadn't noticed a thing, and as soon as Shiloh reached the bottom of the hill, he jumped up excitedly and threw his hands in the air. Shiloh!
I won!
Almost immediately, he fell back onto the grass, still dizzy from his roll down the hill. Proud of you, Shiloh. Proud of you, buddy. Lizzie stomped out the bush she had ended up in, spluttering angrily and brushing leaves from the front of her dress. Not bad. You got lucky. Let's do it again and see who wins for real. Kids, it's time to come in. No! You snickered, feeling grateful that you hadn't been part of the mini debacle. You caught Cove's eye and saw that he was doing the same.
there's some, like, mood music, like... It had gotten late and was beginning to feel just a bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills, but the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together, side by side, down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening, with each person trying to prove that they were the one who caught the most fireflies. You know that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter much anyway. All that mattered was that you all had a good time, which, judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, you did. Okay, another moment time. Let's save. Can overwrite this save. Okay. What should we do next? Why don't we just go in order? Let's do Sandcastle next. Cove wasn't able to do many things that summer. When you, him, and Shiloh sat... Nope! When you, him, and Shiloh sat out on the shoreline on one bright morning, you could tell he wanted to be in the water. But there was no way he'd be swimming anytime soon, not with his cast. Just put a plastic bag over it like a man. What? Like a man? That doesn't make any sense, but... Like... I mean, I guess the plastic bag is just for... I've never actually broken a bone. I guess the plastic bag is just for showering, because, like, you have to do that, so, like... I guess it doesn't work for swimming. But, like, you could probably just, like, keep your arm above the water, right? Like, you could, like, wade in. There's no way he'd be swimming anytime soon, not with his cast. The waves washed a single shell to the shore. Jesus, this whole thing is a tongue twister, this whole section. Glittering in blue, another reminder of the places he couldn't go. Oh, the places you can't go. Newsflash. You're not going places. From what you heard about Cove's old life so far, in tiny pieces and fragments, you could tell that he'd do anything to be able to get the cast off. Yeah, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? How did he break his arm? Did he tell us that? Have we learned that yet? I feel like that's important. I feel like that's gonna be important. The possibilities of what he might get up to made you anxious. You thought about how his summer last year must have been totally different from this, with his old home and his mom and dad. Did his, like, mom break his arm or something? But now he was here, with you and Shiloh and Lizzie and everyone else, and he couldn't even go in the sea, rather. This town wasn't bad. It had all your favorite things in it. But sitting there on the same beach you'd grown up on, you could understand that not everybody felt the same way about Sunset Boulevard that you did. You watched him from the corner of your eye quietly, and he finally said aloud what you had been pondering. Wish I could go in. The water? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna be able to do it soon. Cove only sighed in response. Apparently, soon wasn't soon enough. It's so pretty, the ocean. I'm gonna turn my mic down just a little bit, because it seems like it's peaking a little bit. There we go. They're huge. There could be anything out there, like mermaids. Yeah. I wish you didn't have a cast. I don't really care. Why is that the joyful option? Swimming might be fun if we could. I'm fine here on land. Mermaids aren't real. Fuck off, Cove. Mermaids aren't real. Grow up. We're 8 already. It's time to grow up, kid. I wish I didn't have a cast. Me too. Obviously not interested in hearing much more of your input on the situation, Cove turned back to the water. But as he looked away, something about Shiloh's slow, careful movements caught his eye. Hey, are you building a sandcastle?
Sort of. I was only playing around while you were talking. I'm listening.
Maybe I could too. I've only made big piles before.
It's really nothing special. I'm sure you'll be good at it right away.
Well, how do you do it then? Shiloh's cheeks lit up. You could tell he was a little bit uncomfortable to have Cove's expectant stare on him. I'll play too. I love making sand stuff. I've never really made one before. There's nothing else to do. I love making sand stuff.
Okay.
He put his hands back to his seashells and sand and nodded. This entire memory is a fucking tongue twister, dude.
I don't do a lot. Here's how I like to get a house started.
Shiloh, focusing more intently than you'd ever seen him, guided Cove through his process. You happily used your own method. It didn't take long. Ooh. It didn't take long for the three of you to each have humble structures prepared.
That's all, kind of. You can do anything now, like make it bigger and add some seashells, carve a pretty pattern. I bet you'll have great ideas.
Okay.
I'm gonna make mine bigger. Mine is gonna be a real castle.
Cool. This is gonna be a house.
Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decided to make a house, a castle, a mansion. A house, a castle, a mansion. A castle. Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decided to build a fancy castle. The better part of the next hour was spent focusing on your own work. The boys were the same. Even Shiloh didn't sneak as many peeks as everyone else. Even Shiloh didn't sneak as many peeks at everyone else as he usually did. You finished shaping before either of them did, glancing up from what you'd built. It seems you got done so fast because they already searched around for extra decorations. Shiloh had grabbed most of the really interesting stuff, and Cove had a lot of the shells, but there were still options. The first thing you reached for was a red bottle cap, blue seashell, green piece of sea glass. Ooh, a green piece of sea glass. It was the best fit for your castle, you decided. It was see-through and sparkly, yeah. So you tucked it away somewhere secure inside, barely poking out to make sure it didn't get lost. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I am going to refill my water bottle. So I will be right back. I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, I am back. Let's get back. Pleased with your result, you finally took a proper look around that wasn't focused on the stand itself. Both Cove and Shiloh seemed super immersed still. You knew you could probably sneak a peek at either one's work. You checked out Cove's sandcastle, you checked out Shiloh's sandcastle, you decided not to look. Let's check out Shiloh's. Shiloh was definitely the best out of all three of you at building sandcastles. He was also the smallest, but there were his was also the smallest, but there were so many glittering debris and carved sand shapes all over the entire building that his effort was obvious. Excuse me. I'm so burpy today. Probably because I tried to fucking protein shake before I started this stream. That was not a good idea. But if I hadn't done that, I would have been hunger nauseous. Shiloh's little house even had a tiny garden by the front door and another one in the back, all made out of pebbles and other bits and bobs. Hi, baby. Hi. That's my cat in the background. Sorry if you can hear him. The silence was then broken. What's on the top of yours, Shiloh? Hi. Hello. Spray. Okay, Spray, I'm streaming right now. I know you want pets, but I'm streaming right now. Oh, hello. Are you gonna get in my lap? That's gonna be really fucking inconvenient if you get in my lap, Spray. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Oh. This is when being a VTuber is a detriment because you can't see my cat who is now in my lap. Hi. Hello. I'm streaming right now. I'm streaming. I can't pet. Well, I can pet you. I'm petting you right now, but I can't. I gotta get back to my stream, baby. Come on. Spray. If I set you down, are you gonna meow at me? If I set you down, are you gonna meow at me? Be honest. Be honest. Liars go to hell, Spray. Okay, I'm gonna try and put you down. Oh, okay. You peeked around the corner and discovered something shiny sticking out of Shiloh's. You peeked closer and discovered something shiny sticking out of Shiloh's sand chimney. This is a fucking tongue twister! What the fuck is this? There's been like 3 tongue twisters in this memory alone.
Oh, it's just a gum wrapper. It looks like smoke.
Neat.
It's good. That's smart. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I guess I don't see it. You should be an architect. Looks kind of more like a worm. Kind of looks more like a worm. A slimy worm. Sticking his tongue out in disgust. No! No, wait, no! I fucked it again, no! Gross. Shiloh frowned without a word. Oh! 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 And that was that for the current topic. You really fucked that one over, didn't you? Pinky, can I see what you did? Sure. He began surveying your work. The castle you'd built was pretty impressive, all things considered. Tall archways and even a little moat circling it. Oh, whoops. Did not mean to do that, but whatever. You would probably feel safe living there. Maybe your moms were the queens. Shiloh quickly decided to jump in the new conversation.
Hey, Pinky, what did you do?
I made a castle. Shiloh didn't look so happy anymore. You both built castles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat. How you guys match. It's too bad we didn't all do that. Next time we should.
Wouldn't that be boring? If something is the only one of that thing, that makes it special.
Yeah, for sandcastles and stuff.
People too. My dad always says how everyone is their own man, a real individual.
I don't think I'm very special.
You are Deku! You are fucking Deku! I knew it! I know what you are. You're Deku.
Why?
Why not? Nobody else is you.
Shiloh simply shook his head.
I'm a clone. I have an exact replica, so that's really, you should really fucking think before you ask. I'm not different.
Beat passed between the two. Cove then looked down at his own work again.
Okay.
He didn't seem to be bothered by leaving the disagreement hanging there. Cove had other things on his mind. My dad tried to get me to make sandcastles for the first time when we came to this beach. I didn't want to. Cove trailed off again. Again, there was that moment of silence. There was another moment of silence, even. Shiloh shifted and opened his mouth to say something, but Cove spoke up before he could. You didn't think he noticed that Shiloh was going to talk. Hey, do you know what happened when your moms met my dad, Pinky? You blinked, not expecting the question. You thought hard. I wasn't there. They didn't tell me. I just remember what happened when I met your dad. Mr. Holden had been a weird stranger then. Well, he was still kind of strange. No other parent acted like him, but you knew him better at this point. Hi. Hello. Oh, you're coming on my lap again? Okay. Oh. Hello. Yes, hello. Do you want to say hello to the stream? Yes? It's great. I already am having to work my stream schedule around your dinner time, buddy. I can't stop the stream just to pet you every time. But I will pet you right now because you are a cutie. Hello. Okay, goodbye. Now that you thought about it, it made a lot of sense that Cove's dad talked to him about people being unique. You were pulled from your thoughts when Cove continued. Oh, well, I was there.
I don't think my mom has met your dad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she hasn't. Pinky's parents and my dad met the same day I met them. I'm gonna say what happened. Okay, you do that, man. Shiloh frowned to himself, ducking his head. His hat cast a shadow over his face. You could still tell he was upset at not being included in Cove's choice of topic. I got hair in my mouth. That was kind of boring for him, though giving people their own turn to say the things they want is important too. You stayed silent and let Cove finish his story. I think Shiloh wants to talk too. Ugh, I've got fur all in my mouth. You stayed silent and let Cove finish his story. Shiloh could talk about stuff after Cove had had a chance to share what he planned on. But when we moved here, we didn't bring a lot of things with us. Only some stuff that would fit in Dad's car. We didn't even get a moving truck. What the fuck happened? The more I learn, the more I am concerned. Because what do you mean you show up, freshly divorced, fresh broken arm, didn't bring anything, didn't even get a moving truck, only some stuff that would fit in Dad's car? What happened? What happened? Tell me! I sat at the end there while Dad brought it all inside. I didn't want to get out because I knew that Dad would make me look around the new house. I really didn't want to do that. His lips twisted into a frown as he recalled that. Then I saw your moms. They were in a car too and stopped at your house, I guess, They were in a car too and stopped at your house. I guess they were coming back from somewhere or something. My dad noticed. He waved his hand and went over to the front of your house where he started talking to them. Is this where the $20 is gonna come up again? as a plot point.
I don't know what they said. I couldn't hear it. But he couldn't see me anymore since he was looking the other way. So I opened the car door and left. I wanted to get away and went behind the houses. I found those hills there. The ones where we met for the first time.
Cove nodded, then stared at you. You stared back. He didn't go on to say anything more. Is that it? Cove's brow wrinkled. Cove's brow wrinkled, like he didn't understand why you were so surprised.
Huh?
That's all that happened. Okay. Why do you want to tell me the story? Why did you want to tell the story if nothing happened? You really gotta get better at telling stories. That was a pretty bad story. Thanks for telling me. Why did you want to tell the story if nothing happened? It kind of didn't have a point. But that was how our parents met. I didn't make the story up. That's not really my point. Cove just was not understanding the issue here. Autistic king. Shiloh's mouth twisted into a scowl of disbelief, but he said nothing. Why'd you bring that up, anyway? There was a slight shrug of Cove's shoulders.
Well...
I was thinking about it because of the sandcastle. It made me remember when I moved to here. Dad showed me the beach first, before we went back to the car to unpack. He was really excited about it for some reason.
For some reason? Your dad is like the sea incarnate. He named you Cove. And you're like, oh, well, for some reason he was excited about the sea. Yeah, because he's fucking obsessed with the sea. Why do you think you're named Cove? Cove's brow furrowed a little more as he quietly raked his hands through the sand. I get it. You thought maybe Mr. Holden wasn't that excited about the beach and was instead hoping Cove might be. But the line of conversation had come to its end. Even Cove was done with it. Some other topic had popped into his head. Shiloh fidgeting uncomfortably in the sand had made Cove aware of his presence again. They looked at each other, and you could only wonder what this might be about.
Hey, Shiloh.
Yeah?
Why are you always turning red, even when nothing is happening?
Clearly startled, he jerked back. Neither you or Shiloh had expected that to be how he got included in the conversation again.
I don't know, I guess.
Okay. It's kind of weird. Shiloh's eyes were wide with embarrassment and his lips twitched and he was blushing even harder than before. Maybe it wasn't only this. Perhaps it was simply the last straw, but it was a big deal to Shiloh. A huge deal. He didn't just look sad. He seemed almost panicked. Oh no, Shiloh? You weren't sure if he was about to cry or run away or what, but you soon got an answer.
Why do you wear glasses? Most kids don't wear glasses, and nobody is named Cove.
Who asked you to come?
Who asked you to come? It was probably just your dad bugging Pinky's family some more because you don't have anyone else who will ever play with you.
Cove blinked. The tension on the beach was suddenly uncomfortable in a way you didn't even know how to even mention. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. It didn't seem like the kind of thing he'd get upset about, though you hadn't ever known what kind of thing would bother Shiloh.
I'm sorry. Me too. I was just wondering.
Hey, let's build another sandcastle. You tried to play on your own. Are we gonna build more? You nervously messed with the sand. Are we gonna build more?
You want to keep building sandcastles? Yeah, okay.
Cove glanced to Shiloh, whose smile hadn't returned to full power, then at you. All right. What a relief. You were glad it was settled. You all went back to making more sand buildings, but the whole mood had changed. Shiloh's cheeriness was clearly gone, and Cove looked as confused as ever about why the other boy had blown up. The air stayed uncomfortable the rest of the afternoon.
right up to the moment that Shiloh's mom appeared at the beach to take him home. I'm really blowing this, aren't I? At least you tried to do something to resolve it, though, and it seemed like it had helped. Even though Shiloh's smile when he said goodbye to Cove wavered, it stayed as bright as ever for you. That had to count for something. But with Shiloh gone and the sun going down, you knew it was time for you and Cove to head to your own houses. You followed him as he made his way out of the sand. The walk home was quiet. You passed by familiar landmarks, shoes thumping against the sidewalk in near perfect unison. Cove was clearly caught up in thinking about something. What you thinking about, buddy? You asked Cove what he was thinking about. You stayed silent. He stayed silent. There was no way you could ask, not with that look on his face. But a minute or so later, he spoke up anyway.
Hey, Pinky?
What? Cove fell silent again for a few more seconds, then sighed. Why'd Shiloh act like that? When I said he was all red a lot. You were being rude to him? He's just being a baby? You shouldn't make fun of him? I don't know, it's just Shiloh. He gets embarrassed. You shrugged at Cove with no answer to give. He gets embarrassed. Embarrassed? But I didn't say anything bad. It might have upset him anyway? I guess. I can get it. Why he would do that. Sometimes I get really mad too. Despite seemingly coming to a conclusion, Cove's mood was still sour. What Shiloh said didn't make any sense anyway. Parents always talk to other parents and set up stuff so their kids play together. My dad didn't do anything weird. You struggled not to make a face at that. His dad definitely did something weird to try and get you to spend time with Cove. And that's definitely gonna come up later and blow up in our faces that we took that money. But Cove didn't know that. Cove didn't know that. Nobody's making me spend time with you. Your dad does do stuff so you'll hang out with my family, but Shiloh shouldn't have said that. You decided to tell him about how your dad offered you money. I feel like I should tell him now, and it'll go over poorly, but then he knows, so that it's not it's been 10 years, and he's just now realizing, and he's even more upset, why the fuck did you not tell me? I think that's gonna be my angle. So, you decided to tell him about how his dad offered you money. Well, remember how you talked about how our parents met and I didn't know what happened? Yeah? I kind of had something happen that you don't know about when I met your dad. And as you struggled to find the right words, Cove looked at you passively. You wilted under his gaze, breaking eye contact. You stared at the ground. I was walking home, and your dad was sitting in front of the house. It must have been after you ran away. My moms weren't there either. I think they were looking for you. Your dad saw me. He got up and came over. Mr. Holden told me that you just moved into the house next to mine. You snuck a look at Cove. He was still listening, his expression as plain as before. You paused for a moment, wondering if you should really keep going. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God, I'm gonna save. You told the full story. I got it. Even if it was supposed to be a secret, you thought Cove should still know. Your dad wanted you to have a friend, so he offered me money. $20. Cove... Oh, no. Oh, God. No, not like that. Not like that. Oh, God. Okay. Cove was so still, you thought he hadn't heard you. Then his eyes widened, his mouth fell open, but no sound left him. Silence stretched between you, so tense it was almost tangible. You shifted from one foot to another, and your hands tensed up. Oh my god. Oh my god. Cove? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Instead of speaking, he closed his mouth, his eyebrows bent up, crinkling his forehead. Oh, oh no, 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 no. Sorry. His eyebrows bent up, crinkling his forehead. He looked more sad than surprised now. He was going to cry. You were certain of it. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Cove raised his hands and brought them up to under his glasses. His fingers pressed over his eyes, hiding them from your sight. Then, right in the middle of the street, the tears began to fall. His shoulders shook with the force of the sobs. You could glimpse wetness through the crack of his fingers slipping down his cheeks. Oh no, Cove! Sorry, it was oh my god, no. You opened your mouth, but you had no idea what to say. You stepped closer, you placed your hand on his head, you touched his shoulder. You stayed by him. Oh. You stayed by him, you placed your hand on his head, you touched his shoulder, you stepped closer. You tried to reduce the distance between the two of you, but Cove shook his body from side to side, rejecting your presence. No, it wasn't like... The $20 was just like an extra thing. I would have been friends with you anyway. I promise. I'm sorry.
No.
Go away. Cove, no! No! Oh, no! I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cove. You flinched at the shout. You stood there listening to him cry. You felt uncomfortable over the scene he was making, concerned for him, regret for telling him about the money, bad about everything, mean about everything. You wished you were still making sandcastles on the beach, before Cove was sad, before Shiloh was mine. Everything had been so much better then. Cove continued to weep with his face covered by his hands. Worse, his voice raised in volume. You were frozen in place. The situation was awful and you kept feeling worse every second. Oh, please don't cry. I'm sorry, Cove. You hugged him. Stop being so loud. You started crying too. You started crying too, because you didn't know what to do to stop Cove from crying. You began to panic. Before you realized it, your eyes were misting over, then you were crying with him. You couldn't stop. You heard a door opening and flinched, expecting to see one of the mean old grandparents preparing themselves to yell at you. It's cold. You heard the door opening and you flinched, expecting... Oh, I already read that. At this hour, most people weren't around, either because they were working or down in the town. But the grandparents rarely left the house, except to complain at the children making noise in the street. With the ruckus Cove was making, you could kind of understand why they might have objections, even if he couldn't help it. But the door that stood open now didn't belong to his grandparents. To your utter surprise and relief, it was Cove's own. His dad was already home. Oh no! No! As he peeked out the door, Mr. Holden momentarily looked unsure. Perhaps he had suspicions on the noise outside, but wasn't entirely positive. Though a kid crying is pretty distinct, and there aren't a lot of kids. Maybe he didn't want to believe something might be wrong with his son. His face fell as he spotted the source of the commotion. It was pained, and it was scared, and it reminded you of the one he had worn the first night you'd met Cove. Mr. Holden didn't go down the steps in front of his house. He just jumped right over and stumbled into a run. He skidded to a stop before Cove, bent down on one knee, and then solidly cupped Cove's teary face with his hands.
What's wrong?
What's wrong? Are you hurt anywhere? Cove continued to cry, unable or unwilling to cough out an explanation. Not taking his hands from Cove, Mr. Holden turned to you for an explanation, his eyes wide, imploring. He wanted to know if you tried to make me hang out with him. I told him about the money. As you spoke, Mr. Holden's chest rose while he inhaled a deep, shaky breath, culminating in a gasp at your final words. I'm sorry! Oh, everything else, everybody hates me! Oh no.
What?
Why would you? I didn't want it to fester and cause more problems! It's causing problems! He clamped his mouth shut, shaking his head. He faced his crying son again. I'm sorry. No, it's my fault. I shouldn't have done... What's up, bro? No, it's my fault. I shouldn't have done something like that in the first place. He cast his eyes down, sighing. When he next spoke, it wasn't part of a conversation anymore. It was barely loud enough for you to catch his words. Pinky's only a kid. Tears were still streaming down Cove's face. Smiling sadly, Mr. Holden wiped Cove's cheeks with a thumb. He furrowed his brows and looked at the ground. When he next glanced up, his mouth was set with determination. Mr. Holden finally took his hands off Cove. He reached for his wallet. Confused, you stared at the little rectangle that all adults seemed to carry in some shape or form. It had been the source of all these problems. You were sure that Cove wouldn't want to be reminded of it right now. Mr. Holden was clearly of a different mind to you. He inexplicably retrieved another $20 bill, rolled it up, and raised it to Cove's face. Cove's eyes were wide behind tightly clamped fingers, so Mr. Holden poked Cove's nose with the bill. Cove peeked between his hands and grunted as he saw what he had been prodded with. Even if it was surrounded by sobs, you were glad that something else had finally left Cove's mouth.
Come on.
Hey, Cove? Can you stop crying? I'll give you this cash if you do. Cove dropped his hands from his face. It had already been red and wet with tears, but now his features were all scrunched up in a scowl. Not for the first time, you questioned Mr. Holden's tactics. He had to use two hands, but Cove firmly shoved his own dad away. Oh. But Mr. Holden just chuckled at Cove's reaction. And tossed the money aside. It unfurled and as it flew through the air, rising before slowly drifting to the ground. Oh, he has a ponytail. Oh, okay. I don't know why that was the shocking part to me. Mr. Holden took Cove's outstretched wrists and lowered them to Cove's side, stopping him from hiding his face once again. Cove's dad clearly wasn't going to let go. Puffing, Cove turned his whole head away, tears continuing to roll down his cheeks as he glowered at the ground. You can buy a lot of cool things with that, but it can't do everything, can it? Cove didn't respond, not even to look at his father. Mr. Holden continued. Your old dad likes to make things nice with the money he earns, but you're smart. You know I haven't really done anything.
I'm sorry.
I still make you sad and upset, just like now. I'm sorry. Cove sniffled, the harsh line of his brow mellowing. Mr. Holden squeezed Cove's hand as he continues. Pinky is smart too, right? Mr. Holden spoke in a soft, encouraging tone, and Cove continued to calm. You have nothing to worry about. Except for me. Mr. Holden chuckled. Cove pressed his lips together, mulling over his father's words. Though the stream of tears had eased, drops still budded in his eyes and threatened to spill out. I love you, son. So much. More than anybody else. Sometimes that makes me a little too hasty, and to see you happy. Sometimes that makes me a little too hasty to see you happy, and I make it all worse. I really am sorry. Scrunching his eyes tight, Cove nodded. When his eyes opened again, they were red and glossy, but there were no tears left on the precipice of his lower lashes. The precipice of his lower lashes. Aside from the occasional sniff, he was mostly back to his usual self. He swallowed. Okay. Though Cove had refused to echo Mr. Holden's exact words, the sentiment seemed to be enough for his dad. Okay. Not sad anymore. Baby is sick. He moved his hands up under Cove's armpit and hoisted Cove high into the air with a grin. Cove's hands flew to his glasses, holding them back from falling off. Cove's lips were shut tight, all betrayed by the telltale smile in his eyes that he was trying hard to hide. Mr. Holden laughed, lowering Cove so that he was securely pinned against his chest. Cove looked away, face angled to the ground. Now that his dad could no longer see him, he was allowing himself a smile. Mr. Holden might have missed it, but you didn't. Cove wriggled, pushing a hand against his dad's shoulders. Can I go back now? Yeah. Mr. Holden sent Cove gently on the ground, waiting until his feet found their footing before releasing him entirely. I have to do something. Wait here. As Cove wandered away, Mr. Holden's gaze stuck to him like glue. You sighed, eyes downcast. You felt weird that you'd only been able to stand there while the event unfolded. You weren't able to fix it. I couldn't do anything. Don't worry about it, please. We don't need another tragedy today. He winked and you weren't impressed. Hey, I mean that. The first part anyway. There's only so much you can do to try fixing someone else's mistakes. He smiled sincerely at you. You've done plenty for Cove. Just the fact that you were honest with him when his own dad wasn't proves it.
That's a relief.
Thanks for being such a good kid. I hope you'll keep spending time with the boy. As though the sound of his name summoned him, Cove returned, clutching the bill his dad had cast aside earlier. You cocked your head, and Cove's dad raised his eyebrows. Cove looked at the crumpled note, then walked over and held it out to you. Oh my god, I get $40?! Hell yeah! I stopped crying, but I don't want this. You can have it. He gave you a small smile. Behind him, Mr. Holden was still watching Cove closely, clearly relieved. You shared the feeling. Cove was making peace with the deal that happened behind his back. I'm not gonna take it. I already have $20. Shaking your head, you pushed the note back to Cove. I don't need it. But I don't want it. You were at a stalemate. Mr. Holden hummed thoughtfully. Tapping his head, he gazed up at the wide sky as he pretended to give the conundrum serious consideration. I know. He plucked the bill from... God damn it, man! It's less than worthless, my boy! He plucked the bill from Cove and tore it right in two. You and Cove gasped in unison. Dad, we can't do anything with it now. True, but it won't work at the store like this, but now you can split it. Crouching down, he held out the pieces to you and Cove. You both looked at the two halves. Neither of you reached for them. It still has value, as a keepsake, a memory, and that's one of the most valuable things you can use money on. Okay. That sounds pretty good, huh? Maybe I'm getting smarter. Wordlessly, Cove stretched out a hand and took his half. You took yours, running a finger along the jagged edge of the bill. Mr. Holden stood up, stretching his arms out casually. During step 1, Okay, I got an achievement. During step 1, tell Cove about the deal you and his dad made. Well then, it's time for dinner. Me and the Rugrat need to be going in. You probably should too. I bet your mom must want to see you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks very much.
Have a good night. Have a good night. And thanks, Pinky. Father and son waved at you as you turned and dashed back home, the notes clenched tightly in your hand. You felt lighter. Okay. I think that is where we are going to call the game for tonight. I've been playing for just about 2 hours. Here, let me back to talking. Okay. So, and then let me close the game. Quit the game. And let me. Okay. Okay. Yes, quit the game. Yes, quit the game. Yes, okay. And then let me get music going again. Okay, so that is gonna do it for my stream tonight. Thank you so much for watching if you're watching live, and if you're watching the VOD. I try to go live every day at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow, like I said, because I am going to be hanging out with my friend, but I will definitely be streaming on Saturday, so look forward to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday. Thank you again to Ember's Tale for the follow, and thank you again to Friendly Ghost Val for the raid. And yeah, if you enjoy my content, you can support me on Ko-fi, or you can follow me on Blue Sky, or on TikTok, or on YouTube. All my links are just right there above me. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on Saturday. Bye!